Santato Jaudire Nashta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we will read from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 18, sloka chislo 13. Word after word. Tulayama Lavena Api Na Svargam Na Apunah Bhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Uta Ashishaha Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Madhyanam Kim Utashisha Tulayama Labenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashisha Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Madhyanam Kim Utashishaha
Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashisha
Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashishaha
Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashishaha
Tulayam Lavenapi Na Sangayam Na Punabhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Madhyanam Kim Utashisha
Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashishaha
Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashishaha
Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargam Na
punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Utashishaha Tuleilami Levanapi Nasvargam na punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Maryanam Kim Utashisha
Tulayama lavenapi
Layama Lavenapi
Nasvargam na punarbhavam Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kim Hutashisha Tulayama lavenapi Nasvargam na punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martaninam Kim Utashisha
Tulayama, to be balanced with. Lavena, by a moment. Api, even. Na, never. Svargam, heavenly planets. Na, nor. Apunag bhavam, liberation from matter. Bhagavat Sangi, devotee of the Lord. Sangasya, of the association. Matyanam, those who are meant for death. Kim, what is there? Uta, to speak of. Ashishaha, worldly benediction. Purport, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter, and what to speak of worldly benediction in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death. Purport. When there are some similar points, it is possible to compare one thing to another. One cannot compare the association of pure devotees to any material thing. Men who are addicted to material happiness reach the heavenly planets like the moon, Venus, and Indraloka, and those who are advanced in material philosophical speculation aspire after liberation from all material bondage. When one becomes frustrated with all kinds of material advancement, one desires the opposite type of liberation, which is called apunarbhava, or no rebirth. But the pure devotees of the Lord do not aspire after the happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom, nor do they aspire after liberation from material bondage. In other words, for the pure devotees of the Lord, the material pleasure obtainable in the heavenly planets are like phantasmagoria, and because they are already liberated from all material conception of pleasure and distress, they are effectually liberated even in the material world. This means that the pure devotees of the Lord are engaged in the transcendental existence, namely in the loving service of the Lord, both in the material world and in the spiritual world. As a government servant is always the same either in the office or at home or at any place, so a devotee has nothing to do with anything material, for he is exclusively engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Since he has nothing to do with anything material, what pleasure can be derived from material benediction like kingship or other overlordship, which are finished quickly with the end of the body? Devotional service is eternal. It has no end because it is spiritual. Therefore, since the assets of a pure devotee are completely different from material assets, there is no comparison between the two. Sutta Goswami was a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his association with the rishis in Naimisharanya is unique. In the material world, association with gross materialist is very condemned. The materialist is called Joshit Sangi, or one who is much attached to material entanglement, women and other paraphernalia. Such attachment is conditioned because it drives away the benediction of life and prosperity. And just the opposite is Bhagavata Sangi, or one who is always in the association of the Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. Such association is always desirable, it is worshipable, it is praiseworthy, and one may accept it as the highest goal of life. Tulayama lavenapi nasvargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashishaha. The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benediction in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for that. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutala Shrimate Dhanavadi Swami Namane. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutala Shrimate Bhakti Swami Namane. Guru Maharaj, would you like to say something? So it's like a really beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It's going just to the essence of whole Bhagavata. We know there is a book Bhagavata and there is a person Bhagavata. So here is a glorification of a person Bhagavata. And Srila Prabhupada, like brilliantly, just in the first sentence, he gives such a comparison which, like when there are some similar points, it is possible to compare one thing to another. One cannot compare the association of pure devotee to any material thing. So Srila Prabhupada has the highest understanding how important is a association of devotee. And he just gives this knowledge to us that there is no comparison. You can try to looking something or someone in material world which can give you, some pleasure or some happiness, but you cannot find. It's not possible to find a higher personality like a devotee of the Lord. And just a moment, they called lavena, with the association of devotee, so it can change our life. Just a moment. I doesn't know perfectly this measurement, what it means actually, lavena, but it's just a part of a second. Maybe Guru Maharaj, in the timing. So just a short time is needed, and our life can be saved. It's unbelievable. And in the comparison, like we can try for liberation or for some knowledge with different processes, but when we just came to the association of such elevated devotee, and there is planted the seed of a bhakti, therefore it is so valuable. by the process of jnana or by process of karma or yoga, you doesn't get the bhakti. The bhakti we can get just by the mercy of a devotee. And actually, in the Madhurya Kandamindi, which is this description of the gradual process of stages in the devotional service, there is on the beginning there is a very nice evidence how the bhakti is causeless, doesn't have any cause. And I will try to repeat it because it's more complicated. Somebody can say, that why bhakti is like causeless, and how we can prove this, that bhakti is causeless, because it is said that cause of all causes is Krishna. It's like that. And how can bhakti be causeless? Why Krishna cannot be the cause of the bhakti? It's a very philosophical question. But the thing is that Krishna is not partial. And so if he will be the cause of bhakti, it will be means that he is partial, that to somebody he is better than to somebody else. So he cannot be the cause of bhakti. And so then when Krishna is not the cause of bhakti, what else can be the cause of bhakti? Or not the cause of bhakti, but we can say that Krishna's devotee is cause of bhakti because he is, giving the devotional service or like this. But then, yes, it's true that the Krishna devotee he doesn't to be like how to say. To somebody, like he can choose to whom he is going, he doesn't need to be impartial, and so he can give a bhakti. So it means that devotee is the cause of bhakti. But it's not like that, because actually the bhakti is residing in the heart of the devotee. And from the heart of devotee is coming the bhakti, and therefore the bhakti is causeless. It's not caused by any other reason. And yes, maybe I was not so perfectly explaining it. Difficult for me, but. We can understand in this way that how valuable is bhakti, and this devotional service. This is the only way how we can know Krishna, how we can come near to Krishna. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyamam abhijavati yavanayashasmi tattvataha, that only by the devotional service he can be known. There's no other way. People are trying to know God by speculation, by analyzing the material nature, by yoga processes, but they cannot understand Krishna. And only one who can understand Krishna is Krishna's devotee. Therefore, the association with such a person is needed for us. Because such a person can open the door to the way of the go home back to Godhead. Guru Maharaj.
That's a good point. Our acharyas say that sing a song that I'm running after you, you have Krishna, and I'm running after you so you can give him to me. So that's correct, that you get Krishna from another devotee. Something like multi-level marketing, they have their product, and you can only buy their product, you can only acquire it from one of the agents. So one can only get bhakti from a devotee because Krishna says, one who claims to be my devotee, he's not my devotee. One who claims to be the devotee of my devotee, he's my devotee. If someone approaches Krishna directly, it's not possible for him to accept. Krishna doesn't accept that way. He wants to see whether the candidate has approached his devotee, his pure devotee. Then if he has, and if that pure devotee gives his blessings, this is why in devotional service, the Vaishnava approaches Srimati Radharani because she's topmost devotee of Krishna. And if she becomes pleased upon someone, then she approaches Krishna and says, my dear Lord Krishna, please accept this person. He's such a wonderful devotee. He's better than I am. Please accept him. And Krishna is helpless. He has to agree. Whatever the pure devotee wants. So, the point about Sankirtan or preaching has a lot to do with the person who is doing Sankirtan. If he prays ardently and earnestly to the Lord, here's this person, he's trying to be happy in the material world, but now he's got a chance to read your book, to hear about you. Please let him make the right decision. So Krishna helps. Krishna responds. Krishna responds to the requests of his devotees, to the will of their devotees. Like Prabhupada, on several occasions his health was so poor that it looked like he might be leaving the world. So the devotee said, what can we do? And he said, if you like, you can pray to Krishna, my dear Lord, please let our master stay if you like. And so they did. And Prabhupada improved his health, and he said it was because of your prayers. Sincere devotees praying to Krishna, so many, then certainly Krishna would accept. So this makes it more interesting how Sankirtan is not a material activity. Krishna is right in the middle of the whole thing. The devotees praying to Krishna, save this person, then Krishna agrees and he gives some inspiration in the person, and then that person wants to please the devotee. By his wanting to please the devotee, Krishna becomes pleased, and this way the whole dynamic goes up as. So yeah, you can't say where it began. It's causeless, but you made a nice point. You can't blame Krishna or God for allowing one person to become a devotee and another not. People ask that question, why does one person become a devotee and why another one doesn't? It seems as though there must be some partiality, because if Krishna is the cause of all causes, God is the cause of all causes, then that must be the cause. But yes, he denies that. He says, Samoham Bhuteshu Name Dveshosti Napriya. That Krishna says, I am not partial to anyone. No one is more dear to me than someone else. But anyone who serves, or engages in my devotional service, then I become attracted, and so I favor him, and he becomes very dear to me by that service. One who renders service is special. He becomes obliged. As they say, God is purchased by devotional service. And where can we get devotional service? Every devotee will say, if you ask Prahlad Maharaj, where did you get so much bhakti? Narad Muni, my spiritual master. You ask a great devotee like Prabhupada, where did you get your devotion? He'll say, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He'll give credit to another devotee. I got it from them. So this is a great point for the association of devotee. The most valuable thing, that few seconds or that moment, there's stories about Prabhupada arriving in an airport. Someone sees him, and he became a devotee just by seeing. Hearing is also, one can become a devotee just by hearing a few words or a part. Like Prabhupada said, when you give out these books, if they read one page, their life can be changed. He said one line, one word. It's so powerful. It's so potent. In one sense, it doesn't matter which book we give, whether we start with Chaitanya Charitamrita or we get another book. It almost doesn't matter what's being said. It's just that it's the message of the Lord, and it's coming through the devotee. So they're getting association with the pure devotee. So whatever book they get, wherever they open up, they may not even know which canto they're in. It doesn't matter, because that association for a moment can bring them all perfection. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra, again, Lava Matra, Sadhu Sangha. Lava means very small portion of the second.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. You just wonderfully explained what I was trying to say. And yes, this is one thing to understand the value of a pure devotee, and then we should also understand the value of every devotee. Like to my mind came such a nice story from, I think it was Ramanujacharya, and he was traveling with a group of devotees, and they went to some village, a little bit bigger village, and he has two disciples there. And one was very wealthy disciple, another was like very pure, very poor disciple. He doesn't like almost anything, but both were very nice devotees of Ramanujacharya. And so he sent one of his disciples go to this wealthy devotee that he can arrange everything. I doesn't want to bother this it will be too stressful for him, to arrange everything. So he just decided go to him and ask him, say to him that I will come with some devotees and some disciples, so he can arrange everything. Yes, and then he sent 2 devotees. And these 2 devotees, 2 disciples of Ramanujacharya went there to the devotee, to the disciple of Ramanujacharya, and so they told him, oh, Guru Maharaj is coming, and he is asking if you can, arrange something, because there are many disciples are coming with him. And say, yeah, he was just in ecstasy. Jai, Guru Maharaj is coming, and just right, he started to prepare everything, and organizing everything for and they were very happy that he is this so elevated devotee, so elevated disciple. He's so inspiring to serve all the devotees which are coming. And they went back to him, to Ramanujacharya, and he was asking them, so how was this my disciple with this my message? What I give him? Yeah, he was so excited, Maharaj. He's so surrendered to you. And he just immediately started to organize everything that everything will be good for you and for all the disciples who are coming. And Ramanujacharya was like, yes, okay. And how he was caring about you. And the disciple says, actually he was in such an ecstasy that he just forget on ours, to take care. And Ramanujacharya was like, okay, so we all go to another devotee, and you doesn't say any time where we will go there. Nobody will know about this. And so they went to this house of this second devotee, which was very poor devotee. He doesn't have almost anything. And they went to their house, and there was just his wife there. And she opened the door, and Guru Maharaj! She was just shocked. And so, but the husband was not at home at the time. And she was just, I must serve, I must satisfy my Guru Maharaj and all his great disciples. So she invited all them inside, and she went to the kitchen, and she wanted to prepare something for them, some food. But she realized that they have nothing at home, even 1 glass of rice, 1 grain of grass. And she was like, what I will do, how I will serve now my Guru Maharaj and all his disciples. So, and there was one wealthy person in the village, and nasty person and very greedy after her. And she knew it, because he many times was trying to giving her some lusty, words to her, to invite her to his home and like this. And he was really very wealthy, and he has some shop with some vegetables and like this. And so she decided just that my husband is not here, and I just need to serve my Guru Maharaj and to the disciples. And she was very chaste woman. He just rejected him. He even doesn't look on him. But she decided, I must somehow or other to serve my Guru. And so she decided to go to this man for the help, asking for some vegetable for serving it. So he went there, and
She went there.
She went there, and he asked this man, my Guru Maharaj is here and many disciples, and I doesn't have anything in my house for feeding them, so will you be so please and to give me some vegetables that I can cook for them? And he was, yes, of course, no problem. And she said to him that he will pay him, like with her service. And yeah, he was so excited, and he said they agree on meeting on the evening. And so she went home and she cooked all this wonderful prasadam for all the devotees. Many devotees were there, many disciples of Ramanujacharya. And then after some time they were taking prasadam, all the devotees. The husband of the woman came at home and he opened the door and he saw that, this Guru Maharaj, he just full of blessedness and all these disciples, and he was so in ecstasy. And then he went to his wife and he was like, wow, from where you have this everything, Devi, how it is possible? We had nothing, and they was in backside, they heard some rumor there, and she was asking, actually I went to this lusty boy to ask him for the fruit. And the man, when he was hearing this, he just was in ecstasy. He was just in ecstasy. Oh, you are so, I have such a wonderful woman, such elevated devotee in my house. He was like, you are so chaste and you were able to give up your chastity just to serve to Guru Maharaj and all these disciples. Oh, he was like in ecstasy. But Ramanuja was hearing this, that some rumor behind there is. And so he went there, so what is happening here? And so the man was explaining what's happening, that, that what his wife was doing, and Ramanujacharya was like, okay, so you shall go with her there, and she shall give this man first take him some Mahaprasadam from this feast which you were cooking. So then this Ramanujacharya then went away with all his disciples, and he went there in the evening to the house of this wealthy person, and she took some Mahaprasadam from Ramanujacharya, and the husband was waiting outside, and she was just saying to this man, my Guru Maharaj is sending you this Mahaprasadam, please take this first and then we can. And how he was touching the Mahaprasadam of Ramanujacharya, his heart was just changed. He just felt very humble and very frustrated what actually he was asking from her. And he just bowed down to her feet and prayed for forgiveness. And he then went to Ramanujacharya, and he was just falling down at his feet and became his disciple. and when another devotee, the wealthy devotee, disciple of the Ramanujacharya, heard that Ramanujacharya were actually somewhere else to the other devotee house, so he just ran there, and he just paid obeisance to Ramanujacharya, and he was just asking him for forgiveness, that he has maybe some offense to the feet of Ramanujacharya, and he explained him that actually there is no difference between him and his disciples, and that he should take care in the same way. So very wonderful story, many things we can learn from this. And yes, on the beginning we just accept like Krishna, but it's difficult for us accepting Guru. And then somehow or other we are able to accept Guru. But devotees are not so much important for us. But then, when we make more progress, we understand actually that how every devotee is so valuable in our life, and actually are representative of the Lord. And just very short story. how a pure devotee is seeing the things. Like when I was here for 16 years, I was serving Guru Maharaj, and one bhakta is coming from the street. He wanted to be, some devotee or something. And he came here and Guru Maharaj gave me the service to taking care about this devotee. And he was, after 2 or 3 days, he just left. And then, after some time, some other Prabhupada disciple, Indranuja Prabhu, they were speaking, Guru Maharaj was speaking with Indranuja Prabhu, and he was saying about this devotee, here was some devotee, and he left, and Guru Maharaj just said, you never know what are the action of a pure devotee. And I was just shocked, because of his purity, he was seeing everybody as a pure devotee. And this is the position of, therefore, the association of such elevated persons are so valuable. So I just remember these few stories. There are some questions and some comments. Dr. Jiva.
So this is a very nice point, and I agree with it 100%. The only doubt that I have is that whenever this envy tends to pop up, how can we deal with it so that it doesn't affect our relationship with the devotees and our devotional service in general? That's it.
If I understand properly, so if we are envious, our envy, if we are envious of some devotees around us, it doesn't affect our devotional service.
Yeah, how do we get rid of the envy? How do we gradually work towards getting rid of it?
Guru Maharaj.
Same process. Become Krishna conscious. Serve the devotees. Become a servant. Gopi Bhavatur Parakamalayor Dasa Dasa Dasa. Lord Chaitanya said, I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. 1,000 times servant. So if I can somehow or other serve Krishna's devotee, because we shouldn't think that devotional service or attaining God's favor means to move up the ladder. This moving up the ladder, Prabhupada gives the example when he was at Dai Nippon. There's a Japanese printing company. That's where we were printing our books. And they had assigned one junior executive to pick up Prabhupada at his home with a limousine, and they treated him like a great author, which he was. And so they brought him in to a meeting with all the board of directors, because Prabhupada was going to order some books and they wanted to flatter him. And they all had their cards. When they came in, when they sat down, all of them had their cards in front of them. And one was the top man, and one was the second man, and vice president. And then when they left, then Prabhupada was there with the junior executive, one who was assigned to take care of him. He said, what's your goal in life? Prabhupada asked him. And he went around, he picked up all the cards that were left on the table, and he put the top one on the top and put them in order, and then his was on the bottom, and then he took his off the bottom, put his on the top. That was his goal in life. So that's not devotional service. Devotional service, one is not thinking, I'll go up above all the others. He's always thinking, I'll become the servant of the servant. If there's more devotees, just like Prabhupada's disciple or his godbrother used to serve Prabhupada's disciples, serve them prasadam. And he showed such a wonderful example. He didn't take it that I'm serving the lower level. He was so ecstatic to serve any devotee. And to serve the devotee of the devotee is even greater. So the devotee prays, I just want to become the dog of my spiritual master. He doesn't try to ever pass him. The Mayavadis, they want to become God. That's why they're envious. They're still full of envy because they don't want to serve God. They want to become God, become one with God. But the devotee never wants to become one. He'll never accept Sayuja Mukti, to become one with God, because that's hellish for them. The thought of becoming one with God, losing the opportunity to serve. No, but the devotee will never ask for that, never accept it. And the Mayavadi, he doesn't want to become a servant. So therefore, how can he make any progress? Well, then there's the verse, the Atmarama verse, and the conclusion of the Atmarama verse is so many different types of persons become liberated, become pure devotees only by the grace of another pure devotee. So that's it. By the grace of Krishna and Krishna's devotees, we have a chance to perform devotional service. And yasya prasada bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nagatikatopi. If the spiritual master is pleased with someone, then Krishna is pleased. And if the spiritual master is not pleased, then Krishna won't be pleased. So we have to please him. But it's not difficult to please the spiritual master. It's not that one has to be so exalted or has so many facilities. He just tries his best to assist him in some way, to follow his instructions, and he'll be pleased. Spiritual master is easy to please. He just wants you to try to engage in Krishna service. Any little bit you try, sincerely, then he'll be pleased with that. And then, by his grace, by the grace of Krishna, Yasyadeve parabhaktir yatadeve tatagaro tasyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. One who has implicit faith in Guru and Krishna, all the imports of the Vedic knowledge are revealed. So that's the process, why we're here. We're trying to be of some service to the spiritual master, to Krishna, through his devotees.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just get the realization when Guru Maharaj was speaking, remembering me one my older god brother, Murari Prabhu, and we were Guru Maharaj was visiting our center, and he was taking him down, this jacket, and very nicely put it down. And I was wondering that I was then after that I was speaking with him, and he actually gave me this secret that we have sometimes the tendency, to just be very careful about Krishna or be very careful about Guru. Okay, Guru is coming, so I'm very careful to do everything perfectly. But actually, if we want to do these things like perfectly for Guru, we will be able only in then when we will be doing the same thing, practicing the same thing by the devotees. Like just a simple example of this jacket. If you are not used to properly fold the jacket, so it doesn't really look so nice, But when you are expert by practicing for devotees, to and have the mood. So then, when the situation is coming, when we are in the association of elevated devotees or Krishna, so we will know how to serve them. Otherwise, we are just doing so many mistakes. So this came to my mind. That it's very important. Thank you. Somebody else? Something? Yeah, Murari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So I remember in 2017, 2018, when I was here serving Gurudev, and I was glorifying Gurudev as he was, despite his Parkinson's disease and everything, he was still, always, moving forward for Krishna, doing Harinam, Mangalati. So, I was like, Gurudev, I don't know how you do it. And instead of taking the praise to himself, he immediately started glorifying his god brother, Jayapataka Swami, and how he does it. And, he just switched the whole topic away from himself. So humble. So I just remember that and I wanted to share it. So, envy. You just try to become humble. Like my Shiksha Guru, Murari Prabhu says, don't try to become the next best thing. Just always try to remain humble and try to serve the devotees and glorify their service instead of looking for praise for yourself. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada